some specific mechanics which comes in your mind which you would like to add in comparison to the earlier games that you played, like Pharaoh?
Let me think. So, so what I missed often was the possibility to send wares from one storage to another storage. This probably seems pretty simple, and there is actually a solution for it in Pharaoh. Like you just need to, for example, you need to make like accept goods in like the certain good. You need to set it in the storage that it accept all those goods, and in the storage where you don't want to have it, you have to turn it off there, like don't accept those goods. And this was in my what I found was that it was the only solution, and I really this really annoyed me every time. I always wanted to have some gold or something, or some raw material, for example, in certain storages, and just send it there by hand, like saying I have it in this storage, so I want to click here and send it over there manually once, or maybe set up a trade route or something, like automatically route. And I totally want to have this in Aztec Empire. For now, we just have the old system, and it's already kind of working. Yeah, it's already working. Like you already can press on the storage and say I want to have certain good in there and certain good out of there. But yeah, I really want to have this a little bit more advanced, because this annoyed me a lot in Pharaoh, and I think the other games too.
Yeah, so Van is also mentioning that some of the bazaars ran out of wares before.
What? No, again.
Some bazaars runs out of wares before more arrive at the nearest storage. So it seems like this kind of mechanic, people want it, people need it. So like I think it would be a good idea.
Again, the storage is. I kind of hardly understand right now.
It just added the storage. The bazaars runs out of wares before more things arrive at the nearest storage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was annoying too, because when you wanted to have certain goods in a special quarter of your city where you want to have like high leveled up buildings, it was hard to manage it all the time. And this, like with the solution I said, like sending materials like manually, or setting up a manual route, like micromanagement route, to those like bazaars, or what we have, markets, or storages. This would probably help a lot, I think, and we need to test it, but yeah, that's what I believe, and this is what I want to have in Aztec Empire. Yeah. Okay, I hope the music is hearable but not too loud. Everything is fine, I hope so.
So it seems to be all okay. Comfy Horror is saying, so by myself could check it. Ah, I know this song. I know this song.
Yeah, this song is
I like
good.
this song, and it is not too loud.
Okay, very good.
Horror, no, it's okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I remember giving this temple once to someone who helped me on it, like cleaning it a bit, and while cleaning, this person made some strange things, I think, but it's all time.
Just I'm listening to the song now from which you played the moment, which is from Age of Empires 2, and it is one of my very first computer strategy games, actually my very first one even. And I just remembered I saw it first time at a friend's home, friend's computer.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was just like he was doing some things in editing mode. He was just putting a lot of infantry and cavalry inside some place and let them fight. And I wanted to do it at home. I also wanted to do it at home, but I couldn't find this game mode. I completely was so unexperienced in everything, and I started like a random map game and didn't know what to do. And now I of course know that this is the usual common game mode. But this music, it remembers about all these times where you find out all these new things, all these games which exist, all these nice games.
Yeah.
Like such good old strategy games.
Oh yes, totally. I remember, funnily, I remember same thing, like remember that I saw Age of Empires 2 the first time on a friend's computer as well, and he was actually playing the campaign, and I don't know, I remember how he had some I think it was towers with some cannons on it, and he built like a forest out of it. I don't know, like lots of those towers, and this is what I remember, the first picture I have from Age of Empires 2.
When I remember about this towers from Age of Empires, all the time I must think about this sound of danger when you click on such a tower. I completely like this.
Exactly. What else do we have? It's like when you press on the like Dorfzentrum. What is Dorfzentrum in English? Like
the center of the village. I don't know. Town hall. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, good old times. Yeah, and what I always remember as well is the one battle we both had, Tony. Like I think I played the Aztecs actually, or maybe the Maya.
Oh, really?
You know?
I can't remember our battle. I just remember that I played also with a friend and with you, and at the end this game never ended because we had big military, and when we sent them to fight, it's like everyone was dead at the end, and you tried to take some advantage from the specification of these units, like you sent some certain units against horses and so on.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it, but this micromanagement in Age of Empires was all time such a pain to me, and it didn't work out like I wanted. These units was moving strange, and so it was all the time same situation in these big fights which we had.
Yeah.
And it was at the end like we couldn't end this game. We tried it for hours and we couldn't end it just for all time. Everyone was dead.
Yeah. We had the same problem in Stronghold, right?
Oh yeah, Stronghold.
Yeah.
A Command and Conquer also is one of the very early games which I know, but it took a long time until I could play it on my own computer. All my first computers was completely awful. But Command and Conquer also, and I remember, was a pretty nice game. I had Tiberian Sun, something like this.
I played this too, yeah. Tiberium Sun was my really first Command and Conquer, yeah. I think my last two. Yeah. I didn't play so much Command and Conquer actually.
So Horus asking if you're going to add some new building types which didn't exist in earlier games, like maybe some buildings which are specific for Aztecs.
Oh yes, we are planning to implement the popular chinampas, at least popular for the Aztecs, chinampas. The chinampas were like how is it called? Swimming, not free swimming gardens, but gardens on the sea, like or on the not on the sea, on the lake. The Aztecs, the capital of the Aztecs was Tenochtitlan, and this one was built on a lake, basically, or on small islands, but later on, like, it was artificially enlarged, and on those islands, on those swampy islands, they built and on the swampy lake itself, they built those so-called chinampas, and we want to build them somehow into our game. So what we are planning is to, like, for now at least, is to have some sort of canals that you build throughout your city, just as the Aztecs did in the real history, and then you can build in those canals you can build the chinampas, and later on probably, if it's not too complicated for the players, we would love to build in the possibility or the necessity, let's call it like this, that if you want to level up the house, like from level, let's say 8 to 9, for example, then you will need chinampa at the side of the house. So it will be an important mechanic if we really build it in, yeah. At least for the houses, yeah. Yeah, complicated is good, but always. So, for example, I am a player who likes to just build cities and to build them like very large, and don't need to worry too much about managing everything in a very detailed stuff. I just want to build and also build with thinking while building, not just build like this, but I always like it when it's not too hard. So for example, in Anno, for me at least, it was a bit hard to achieve the very last houses at some point. In Pharaoh, it was hard too, but in some way it was achievable if you focused on it a lot. Yeah, okay, in Anno as well, but I would love to have it less complicated. Yeah, this would be a personal aim for me, but I think we will have enough elements for challenger players, like yeah, so that it's not too easy actually. Yeah.
I agree. I also like it if it is not too easy, because then it is a real challenge and it feels more satisfying if you can do something.
Oh yeah.
The Flora is asking which music it is which you play at the moment or 1 minute ago.
So this right now is the it's the Age of Empires soundtrack, the Age of Empires 2 soundtrack, and I put it here in the chat. So this is the YouTube link. Really nice soundtrack.
And Niklas is asking if you're also going to add swamps, llamas, cactuses, and more goods.
So swamps are already in the game. Like we have some. If the canal is not good floated. How to say this? If the canal have no connection to a clear water or something, then he's like a swampy area, and this swamp area could be like kind of everywhere on the map. So yeah, we are planning to have swamps, and we also want to give them in some way a meaning to the game. Sure. Cactuses are also already in the game. We have I forgot the name. Like the blue. I don't know, but yeah, it's actually we have a cactus in the game. What do you mean? Oh yeah, sorry. This will be probably just a decoration element. I think I'm not sure if the Aztecs used cactuses too much, but yeah. And llamas. Exactly. I think llamas were more with the Inca. Unfortunately though, because I really would love to build in llamas. And I'm actually thinking, even if the Aztecs didn't use llamas, maybe I will break, or we will break the historical correctness at this point and just build in cool llamas, you know. We did this as well on the gold of the currency in Aztec Empire. So the currency right now is gold, but the actual currency from the real Aztecs was cacao beans, and we actually tried that. I think I remember that I created a cacao bean symbol for gold, but when you played the game and you had like 10,000 cacao beans, it just didn't feel so wealthful as, for example, 1,000 gold, you know. And at this point, we are breaking the accuracy of the history a bit, but all in terms of better game design or better like game feel. Let's call it like this. And yeah, it's at some points we make those decisions, but yeah, only if we feel that it is important. And same I would say with the llamas. I could imagine that adding llamas, even though Aztecs didn't have llamas.
Horus just gave us some link to some website which shows the meaning for animals for the animals in the Aztec Empire. It seems to have a lot of meaning. Here's a lot of topics in art, in mythology, and symbolism.
Oh yeah.
Do you maybe have further plans for animals in Aztec Empire, or maybe just some one animal, or some two animals, or different animals just for meat or in mythology? Or do you have already some plans, or do you maybe think about it?
Very interesting question, because as we are not not like that far in the development. There are still some things we didn't thought about it too much, and this is one of those things. Like I didn't thought about too much of like how animals will be in Aztec Empire. So right until now, the only idea that I had was to add what's it called? Truthahn.
Turkey.
Turkey, exactly.
Just
turkey.
Horo is just mentioning it. Turkeys and dogs, he says, are the only two animals which were domesticated by the Aztecs. It's actually quite interesting. I didn't expect that they would have dogs.
Yeah, me neither. But I heard this already. Yes, I read it in a book that that the dog was like an important thing in their mythology as well. So, for example, if anyone knows about the mythology a bit, it's like there was a guardian of the underworld. It was called Xolotl, and it was actually a red dog with, I don't know, with lightnings, fighting with lightnings or something. Really cool ideas for some cool designs, which I like a lot. And yeah, so dogs were a thing in the ancient Aztec. Yeah, but again to the animal topic, what I really want to add still. So right now we just have a turkey, but it's not really inside the game. We just have the graphics for it, and also. We have an eagle who's flying above the sky, but this is actually all the animals we have right now. But yeah, I really would love to at least add some like papagaye. You know what papagaye means, Tony?
No, to be honest, but I think we also can figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minute.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
A parrot. Parrot.
Yeah, sure. So, I really would like to add some parrots, like more, like a flamingo and such things. The Aztecs had those animals, and I just learned that recently. So I would really love to have such a fauna in the game, like even though it's probably just running around and maybe be just huntable, but yeah, I would love to have some more animals in Aztec Empire, yes.
By the way, thank you to Nelvin. Yeah, indeed, it's a parrot. We were both a bit slowly thinking. You were faster than us. Just sometimes we forget some words which we don't use so often.
Exactly. Yeah, Nelvin is here.
Yeah.
Nelvin is, as I mentioned earlier, Nelvin is the coder of the game, and yeah, just as I create the graphics, Nelvin is implementing those graphics, and yeah, I just wanted to introduce him to you again.
Yeah, Horo said it much faster. I just didn't thought I was blind. Yeah, Horo was the fastest.
Yeah, the temple is evolving slowly, but yeah, at some point it's just finished. It's always for me, like sometimes I feel like when I'm creating those graphics, I feel like it's a never-ending task, and at some point I just noticed, oh yeah, I've done everything, cool. Just
I guess this must be a very satisfying moment.
Unfortunately not that much, because I often think, did I forget something? Can I polish something more? You know? But yeah, just the typical artists' problems.
But the horror is still very glad with your speed, because he said this is very fast for him.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad.
So you're doing good. Niklas is asking about hummingbird and about deers. Deers as animals?
Deers? They had deers?
No, I think he's asking about if you're maybe implementing it anyways.
But deers? What was the other animal?
The other one is the hummingbird. It is like this bird which moves his wings very fast and can stay in the air, you know.
Oh, the humming, the colibri, is it right? The hummingbird, I guess no, because the hummingbird is maybe too small. It's I don't know if it would be visual. I mean, I could stylize it and make it a bit bigger, and then it is kind of an idea. I think this is something for later, but yeah, interesting idea. And the deer topic. What? I mean, a deer in Aztec culture, does it fit?
Maybe some European modding pack.
Yeah. Yeah, Nelvin and I, we joked a lot about that if the game is done, then you probably can just replace the graphics and create just any setting you like. For example, you can then have a Babylon Empire or whatever, and this is something that we are also excited about, that we can just create like different settings and try around with them. And
Horror would like to have some Japan setting.
absolutely, I already thought about this often, because Japanese setting is so nice. You need to
I think we
know-
all would be curious about, because Freeze and I, we at the moment plan to play some Total War Shogun 2.
Hi,
And-
Total War Shogun.
Oh no, okay. Yeah, so we all like Japan. I think we all like this Japan setting. I think it should be one of the first one which you should do, but I think this is such a future topic that I think we especially would like to see the finished game and play it for hours and hours.
Totally. We would love to have those settings too, but yeah, first we need to finish Aztec Empire. Sure. Yeah. Look at this roof. What does? Okay. And what else? I really. It may not sound that cool in the first listening, but I tell you guys, Tibet Empire. Oh yes. Like building those,
Empire.
like the temple of the big temple of Lhasa. Like maybe you just saw it in some photos, but and you don't know the name. It's this huge temple with like it's very bricky. Like it's like just or let me quickly sketch something here. So like those just bricks built together, and then you had some windows aside all the like some lot of windows assigned like this, and the Dalai Lama in it, you know, and you have those.
Actually looks so simple, but it's still quite amazing to see such buildings.
Yes, exactly. What I love about them a lot, and they were like red and white colors with gold elements in between it. I love the Tibetan architecture. Yeah. And this is really something I would love to have, like especially it fits well with the economy part, because in Aztec Empire a lot of people are asking for war. Can we have war in the game? And yeah, right now Nevin and me, we are just like we just want an economy simulation, and it's logical that people want Aztecs to have war, because Aztecs were like seemingly such an aggressive culture, and yeah, and in for example in the Tibetan setting, the Tibet setting would be like it would make more sense to have it peaceful there, you know, without war, because the Tibetan were always avoiding war. Yeah.
Just Toro is also offering some help for us if you need to know something about Japan, since he seems to be some expert for this. So if you need some help, you know whom to ask now.
And why are you an expert? Are you living in Japan or something?
He said he is some historic which was studying Japanic science. I don't know how to say this.
Yeah, really cool.
But you know what I mean?
Really cool, really cool. I thought about something like this as well, like not historical, but like the linguistical part, to study something like this, because I just love the writing of Japan, and the language as well. I like it a lot. I learn it a lot.
But I think you don't love it all the time, this writing, I heard.
Oh yeah, the writing can be so frustrating. Absolutely, yeah. But I still love it. I mean, when I get a Japanese book in my hand and I just see those pages full of kanji, katakana, and hiragana, so I don't know. I just get like motivation to learn it, because it's looking so cool. Damn. I don't know if anyone is feeling me right now, but yeah.
No, I'm feeling you, since I'm learning some Chinese. And yeah, so we was choosing the two most awful languages in some way.
About the writing, yes.
Yeah, it is sometimes really a pain in the ass, but
yes.
But it pays off. It's just nice.
Yeah.
So Horror is now mentioning that the Tibetans actually were not that friendly and peace-loving.
Oh, really?
That they even was raiding China.
What?
During some time. So I don't know. Maybe we got a wrong.
Yeah, maybe
picture
I had this wrong.
Tibet.
Yeah. What?
Maybe we just got a wrong picture in our minds.
Maybe.
Of Tibet.
Maybe it's all because of like the propaganda movie I saw for the Tibetans, like 7 years in Tibet. Anyone knows this movie? I liked it a lot, and it's about the guy from Germany, like, and it's played by Brad Pitt. But he went on on the Himalaya to climb a certain mountain, and but it was like in the 40s, so and yeah, the technological or it was like back in the past, and it's, I don't know, the film, for me, the movie, it have something magical about it. I really like it.
I also like this film. I just think that films today all the time colored by historical things. I mean, at the moment, especially the problem with Tibet and between Tibet and China. I guess it's hard to find some really neutral information.
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
another topic.
Yeah.
Anyways, interesting film, and
exactly. And
maybe
in the film,
we should read something about Tibet, and we'll also find out some other sides of them.
Yeah, this would be very interesting. Yeah. That they attacked China.
So Hans is asking you where you are exactly from, because your Photoshop is in German.
Exactly, we are from Germany, and I am from the north, center, west of Germany, and Nelvin, the coder, is from the south, very south Germany. We probably need to note this down somewhere, because yeah. It's an important information, isn't it?
It is. You should write it down. So Hans is asking, why do you live so far apart from each other?
Actually, this is all depending about like finding someone to make some game dev. It's not easy to find someone to create, like for example, such a Aztec Empire game, just in the free time, just like beside the main job. And I went on. I remember that I went on Tixors, like it's a game designer forum, but I think not only for game designers, I'm not sure, but a lot of game designers are there, and you can. I just made a post where I just asked for people who are interested in creating like any game, but I already had something like this isometric building game in mind, and when I talked with Naren about the making this impressions like Aztec game, he was immediately interested in it too, and then we said, let's do it. And this was the beginning of already 2 years of development, and probably even more until we have this done. Yeah.
So when says you make drawing look rough or simple, so it seems to be easy.
Thank you so
or
much.
Not?
Thank you so much. This is always my my aim, my target when I'm drawing like anything. I always try to have the most freedom I can have. So that I can, like, in the middle of my creation, I can say, okay, no, I want this to be totally different, and to have this, to achieve this, I need to, I needed to find a style with which this is working, and yeah, this is what I came up with. Like, it's a textureless style. Like, there's not so much texture, and this is also why it's working very fast. Well, actually, you could just like paint the texture over it. I did this sometimes, maybe like not here on those buildings, but some of my paintings, and so this works well. This works too. But yeah, for me, always the most important thing was the speed. Like, how can I increase my speed, and in just drawing everything I need to draw, because this is also depending because of my main profession, like the concept artist. I'm the concept artist for Crosscode, for example. This is one of my main clients, and like Radical Fish Games, and as a concept artist, you always need to make quick adjustments and find ideas also very quickly by just drawing. Like, when the team is like saying, oh, we want a firebird, whatever, you immediately need to sketch something in some quick moments sometimes, and these are the reasons why speed was always very important for me. Yeah. And now it's very good to have it in Aztec Empire. I can create, like, quickly. I can create some buildings, testing around. It's often my workflow that I create a building like somehow rough, but already functioning, and I give it to Nelvin. He's building it in, and if it's not looking right, we are adjusting it until it fits. And this is something I really enjoy.
So Horace asking why you decided exactly to make an Aztec game. Why it had to be an Aztec Empire exactly?
I had two ideas in mind, like an alien setting, like alien futurish setting, and Aztecs. Aztecs because I think I remember playing Pharaoh and feeling this cool vibe of Egyptian culture and Egyptian history and everything, and I always thought, oh man, the history of the Aztecs, like the gods, the pantheon of the Aztecs, is so cool as well. I want to learn more about it, but there is no actually there is no game where I can play the Aztecs, and I don't know, I was too lazy to read the Wikipedia articles or something, I remember, and then I thought, maybe it would be very cool to have a game like where you just play the Aztecs or the Aztecs history. And since I didn't find it, I thought it would be cool to make one on my own. And also, I know that a lot of people like the Aztecs too, so it's just how do you say? It's just, I don't know, it catched my attention pretty fast then. And what I want to say is that right now in the development, since we are creating the Aztec game now, I need to read through all the Wikipedia articles of the Aztecs, because I want to have it right in our game. So in kind of way, I'm just doing that what I tried to avoid in the first place. But yeah, it's really, right now I really enjoy it, because if you once understand the basic history and like how everything went with the Aztecs, like the timeline a bit. And then if you read some more like advanced topics about them, you can see it in the overall picture, and this is very, very interesting. So I really enjoy the like the research I do for the game.
Hans is loving your commitment, and he said that he was starting to do some project about Pokemon, which remembers me about myself. And they stopped working on it, which also remembers me about myself. You know. Yeah, I also think that this is that people have to appreciate or to respect people who keep working on projects, because it can be often some situations where you want to throw away everything, or just became tired of working on it when hard situations comes in front of you.
Yeah.
So you're doing it good, Fries.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And don't think that I haven't struggled with it as well. You know, Tony, we went a lot through a lot of game design together, and we tried to make a lot of games happen. But yeah, it's always hard to keep it doing. Yeah.
Hans is also asking if you're a fan of Smite. The game Smite.
Smite, isn't it the like?
It's this League of Legends in a first-person shooter, I think.
Third person, yeah. I know this game because a friend of mine played it a lot, but I never played it myself. And yeah, when I remember it right, they have like gods of a lot of different pantheons in there, right? So probably some Aztec gods as well? Question mark. I can imagine that they have Huitzilopochtli or maybe like Quetzalcoatl in their game. Quetzalcoatl.
It seems like they have gods. Hans is telling us, but no Aztec gods, unfortunately.
Oh my god, yeah, okay.
Mayan gods they got.
What? Mayan gods, okay.
Yes.
I know that Mayan had Quetzalcoatl as well, I think, in their pantheon. But what Mayan god is there in Smite?
So there is Kukulkan from the Mayan pantheon, in the game, as far as I understood, and they got a skin for him which is called Quetzal or something like this.
Quetzalcoatl. Ah yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably Quetzalcoatl, I can imagine. But yeah. And why are you asking? Are you like, do you want some more Aztec gods in Smite? Shark, Musen, Cup, Punch, some more. Yeah, I don't know them. The new Photoshop have a new function where so confusing. So, for example, in Photoshop, until today, when you scale up this element here, for example, when you scale it up, you always needed to press Shift while like Shift on the keyboard to make it like proportional. And now in the new Photoshop, it's like turned around. So if you press Shift now, it's unproportional, and if you leave it, it's proportional. And this is actually very good that they made this finally. But on the other hand, you are so used to do it like on the old-fashioned way that I am always now scaling things unproportional, and this is annoying. But yeah, I'm as I say, I'm happy that they built this in.
I guess it's all the time a bit of a problem if some big software gets some bigger update and people who are used to the old version now got them struggling.
Absolutely.
And also hello to Nico, hello and welcome to our stream.
Hey.
And Hans, he would like to have some more Aztecs in the game. And this Pantheons remember him just about Smite.
Alright.
Yeah, and so you got your, as Hans is mentioning, your love-hate relationship with this update, but I think it is more love than a hate relationship.
Absolutely. For example, if anyone knows it, Blender, the software, the 3D software, they had a large update recently, like it's from version 2.79 to 2.8. But this update is so cool because they now have like this live render engine, and this is so amazing. And there I'm totally fine that I need to learn almost every function again, but like you learn it faster if you know it already. And yeah, for me, my opinion is like better change something and first be a little bit like unfamiliar with it instead of being damned with staying with the bad function forever.
So Hans is also loving Eevee.
Eevee, yes.
Eevee
is my new dear. Nine. Using the polygon lasso with the pen is sometimes not that easy. What do you want to say?
Hans is asking if you are creating some 3D objects for Aztec Empire.
While thinking about it, I never did it. I never did it yet. I haven't done it yet. and I probably won't either later on, because I'm pretty fine with everything 2D. What I heard is that maybe we will have some bigger structures in the game, like very huge structures, and to build them, even only the base in 3D, and like from there on just paint it like over it. This is an interesting idea, and I'm thinking about doing that, but I'm not sure if it's such a work, like if it makes things so much easier. Because, for example, maybe if I still have the layers on this Mictlantecutli temple, let's just make a quick check. So these are my layers of the temple, and let's just wait. So this was a reference. Let's just throw it away. Okay, this. Oh, okay. So this was the clean part. I just want to show you something. So when I started this temple, okay, this is the stone. I didn't call it anything, but when I started the temple, it was like a very easy, like this. I just started with blocking it in Photoshop, and pretty easy by just copy pasting certain. So for example, in this case, I just drew the bottom stair and then pasted the stairs on top of each other until I had like stairs like to the side, like here, and then I just deleted the right side and copied it to the other side and mirrored it, and just repainted those walls darker, and bam, I had this right now done. And what I did then was like made some really easy sketches with some very fast copy pasting, and building in like those things also with copy paste, you know, like the details as well. Yeah, are a lot of layers for details, but every layer is like one element. So for example, here are the spikes, here are this is the cast shadow, some additional lines for like edge highlighting, and I don't know, like some more sketch. Okay, this is not that. Some more lines, but yeah, here this is the important part. Like all the small elements are on several layers, and I just want to say that with copy pasting, I did this temple in really quick time. I think I needed about 5 or 6 hours for this temple, and it had so much, and the workflow was so like I could be very creative, like try different things out and everything. I had no restrictions, and with the 3D model instead, I can imagine that when I do this, I will restrict myself too much to the 3D model. Interestingly, but yeah, to having everything in just one software is also for me a very. I really like to have this. Like, this is why I love Blender also, because it's like you can do so much 3D stuff just in one software. You can even do the compositing and video editing later on in Blender. It's yeah, this is why I love Blender too.
Seems like Horo is against the idea of 3D objects in the game. You don't like this style?
What?
3D objects in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He don't like it so much.
Oh, okay.
I just remember about Freeze. You said in Stronghold Crusader in these games, this a lot of things which you can see are render shots from 3D.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? It was good or bad for the game that there was the render shots?
I mean, for Stronghold, I was fairly happy with it, and I think the Pharaoh buildings, for example, were often 3D shots as well. Or I'm not sure about this because the people were 3D renders. I think, but the houses I'm not sure. But I want to say that if you put it in the right style, I am a big fan of 3D buildings too. Yeah, I have nothing against 3D. For me, the most important thing is that the style fits, and yeah.
Yeah, as Horror says, everything has its place. And Niklas and Horror also were curious about if you maybe can excavate some artifacts in the game which can give you some bonus for culture, or maybe also some negative aspects. What do you think about this?
Oh yes, I really like this idea. Like special elements, maybe collectibles, but I'm not sure. But this reminds me of an idea that another fan had lately. Like he asked for if you build the most giant monuments, that if the music went out, I think. Oh, by the way, we are now in the Pharaoh we are in the Pharaoh soundtrack right now. Okay, so sorry. So the idea was that implementing like the huge structure, like the most the biggest temple that you can build, that it's not just a monument that you that you can look at and that give your city a bit of prosperity or something, but instead that it gives you like a global bonus or something. And I like this idea a lot. Still, it's something you need to be very careful about because, for example, in City Skylines, they made this as well. You could build some very huge structures after long time of achievements, and when you build them, you certainly hadn't to focus too much anymore about for example schooling, building schools for people. And this was cool in the beginning. I thought, oh nice, I don't need to build any schools anymore for the people. They will get educated anyways. But later on, while I had this building in my city, I thought, oh man, this is kind of boring because they are always high educated, even if I don't do anything. So I'm not that sure about this, but I really like the idea. And I think if it's not too overpowered, it's a very cool idea. And artifacts, it probably worked with artifacts too. Yeah. What kind of artifacts would that be? What ideas do you have?
Horror would like to have a crystal skull. It remembers me, of course, about something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys, but okay, forget it.
No. So a crystal skull is an idea, but keep in mind that the crystal skull is I believe it's not a real thing, right? I am not sure, but what I heard is that it's not. It's just how to say, ein Humbug. It was
It's a humbug.
I don't know the name. Like someone just said that it was from the Aztecs, but it wasn't. It was just a fake. But I'm not that sure about it. But actually, what Tony was trying to say is that some of you guys know Erich von Däniken. I don't know if he's so much on the international.
I just know that he's also in the US TV.
Yeah.
Horror knows him. Horror knows him.
Yeah, from Ancient Aliens. Yeah. I think he talked also about the Aztecs at some point. Yeah. It's really interesting, or let's say, yeah. I am using, I don't know, to listen to him or what he says, and Tony and I we enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
And it's. I think interesting is maybe the wrong word. I would say it is very fantastic.
Yes.
Show.
Yeah, and especially Ancient Aliens is pretty much about I don't know, making excitement. Just I don't know. Pharaoh soundtrack has its very good moments, I think.
So Hans is mentioning that you mentioned that you work as a concept artist.
Yes.
And so he's now asking which education do you have? Know that it's needed judging from your work here, lol.
I went to a German game design school actually. It's called the BIP International College. There I went there I went as a student. But actually they hadn't so much digital painting, or they hadn't had digital painting classes, unfortunately. But instead they had 3D, and I remember that I could finally get into 3D with their teachings. But I also learned a lot more at home. I was when I went home, I was just carry on drawing often. Yeah, and I took inspirations from a lot of concept artists. I think two of the biggest names for me was Mr. Jack. In my study times, I often used him as for references. Mr. Jack, you find him I think like this, and also I hear Feng Zhu. Feng Zhu with H. I'm not sure. Feng Zhu or Feng Zhu? Let me quickly check. I don't know what's yeah, with the H. Feng Zhu. And so, for example, those both artists were very quick painters. I saw some live drawings from them where they were drawing stuff, and it went very quickly. It became what they wanted to have, and this was for me at the time. I still was thinking if it's possible, if it's even possible. I was unsure if it was even possible. Now it's no question anymore. But back then it was for me. It was a question, and those guys were very important. Played a very important role for me, for my artist career. Let's say it like this. Yeah. And what I want to say is that this was all like just at home. Yeah. Right now I'm funnily I went to the BIP now as I'm teaching now myself in the BIP in the school where I went. I'm the digital painting teacher there now, and I really love my job there. Like for example the lead teacher, let's call it like this. He's always open for some of my ideas, and I don't know. My students are also very. I don't know. I just like the interaction with my students. Yeah, I try to show them my work outside of teaching, like for example, Aztec Empire as well, and I just as I say, I just love to show them everything. Because by the way, are you? Oh, we have a. Yeah. Again, to Hounds again. Are you in a game art school or something? Are you in a BIP too? Do I understand that right? Or is it something different?
So Hans is saying that he don't has a BIP, but he have a Fachhochschule.
Ah.
And he's studying there.
And you want to get to become a concept artist?
Freeze, I guess BIP, it doesn't mean Bibliothek.
No.
What did it mean?
Good question. I don't know about it. I don't know it myself. We got this question fairly often until today, but I still don't know it. Something with Berufe. I think I forgot it. This is my problem. I always forget the most important stuff. So Hounds, if you are not sure, it's nothing uncommon, right? I mean, when I went to the BIP, I mean, especially before I went there, I was pretty unsure if this is the right way for me, because I was always thinking that it's like the coolest job on earth, and if I would get it, it's like a dream, like an astronaut or something. You don't really get to be a concept artist. when I really said myself, okay, I really want to do this, I really want to train myself to it, then I got more confidence in like just trying to be it, and this is how everything went well afterwards. Yeah.
Please, I think I remember some story which you told me that when you went to school, some teachers didn't really believe that you could work and you could earn money with drawing things.
Oh yes.
And then you went back to the school as a teacher for some time.
Yeah, but I never said it to them. So what you are mentioning, Tony, is fortunately not the bib. If this would happen in the bib, it's like I think the teacher would immediately lose his job.
Yeah, I think it would be crazy if it would be a teacher of this school.
Yeah. yeah. No, but the school where this happened was like in my Gesamtschule. It's the like high school, I think. High school.
Yeah, it should be something like that.
Yeah, and there I remember sitting in the math class, and I was drawing as so often in the classroom, and I remember like this math teacher coming to me. She was a terrible person, like very like passionless, like very. She was talking very slow, very. I don't know. Passionless is really the best word I can come up with right now. And she went to me, seeing that I was drawing, and she said, "Fabrice, put away those drawings. You will never get $1 out of it." And I remember that back then it didn't touch me because I didn't like her, and I always I don't know. For me, I just wanted to draw, and it didn't matter for me if I would earn money with it at some point or something. For me, the most important part was just drawing, and yeah. But later on, now when I grew up and think about it as a more adult person, then I really think what the fridge just happened there. If I would have been like, let's say, a little bit less self-confident, she could have really have done some critical damage. I don't know, and I really, yeah, I really don't wish this to just any child on the world. A teacher like this.
I really don't like when teachers speak about things where they don't know nothing about it. It just remembers me about some teacher, and I was saying some things about programming, and that I like to write some efficient code, which can be progressed fast by the computer. Mm-hmm. And he said me 10 years ago, by the way, that it nowadays completely doesn't matter how fast is a code, because computers are so fast they can do anyway everything. Mm-hmm. And now today games are still limited by slow processors, and I just think he was so wrong, he was so wrong. And he just said something where he has no idea about.
Oh yes.
And I don't know why people do this even.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's those teachers who at some point think they are very, very smart people, right? Oh. Mm-hmm. Even though they are just like, maybe just good in the one thing they are doing, but probably not even this if you think about it carefully. Yeah. For example, what I think this math teacher, for example, I remember she was not that good of an art teacher. I mean, I don't know how she was in math actually, but as a teacher she was a catastrophe, because a lot of people had problems with concentration in her class, because it was just so uncreative. Like, math can also be very interesting if you teach it right, and she just like teached it like, I don't know, like it was just her job, and not anything of a. She didn't want it to improve anything or something, to evolve in some way. She just wanted to do what she has to do, and I always think this is the worst.
Yeah, some philosophical questions here.
So Hans wants to do some creative work, maybe game design related, or maybe websites. But he also wouldn't have something against to get some popularity through music. But he's doing his bachelor's degree, and says he don't have so much time to decide it anymore. So now he's saying good teachers are rare. People who are very good get better jobs, and the rest is doing Lehramt. Yeah, I think this is somewhat true.
Yeah, probably. But I remember having some really cool teachers in my high school as well, which inspired me.
Yeah, I also got some nice teachers, by the way, but I also think a bit like, if you don't know what to study, you can study being a teacher.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, there are really people who do it because of passion, not just because they didn't found anything. But that's probably the biggest problem with the bad teachers, that they just didn't know exactly what to do or something. Who knows? And sometimes, interestingly, sometimes it's the compatibility. I don't know what would be the best word in English, but like how good you can talk and understand a teacher, and how good he can understand you. This also is a very personal thing. Like for some people, this and that teacher can be very good, and for other people, the same teacher can be very bad. Like and this is something which is also very interesting about teacher-student relations. And you can control it, I want to say. You can have a great teacher and a great student, but if they can't work properly together, the outcome won't be that good anyways. The outcome? I don't know if this is the right word too.
So Hans had a teacher which was a tram driver, and then he just moved on to teaching. He was a very fun experience, but no one got any knowledge out of it.
I see.
I think, of course it depends at which stage of education a person is working, but for a lot of stages it is more important that these people can work with other people, and not that they have some amazing skills in maths or language or something.
Yeah, this is a very interesting thought.
because all people who could work good with the pupils also was good in teaching, and people who knew a lot of things, teachers who knew a lot of things in the subject, but can't work with pupils, they never will be able to teach them good, in my opinion.
Yeah. This can really be. Yeah. This can be very good.
But to have a tram driver as a teacher is a bit weird, maybe. I mean,
A tram driver? What?
tram driver? Tram driver?
Yeah.
Straßenbahnfahrer? I don't know sometimes how they choose these people for these positions. Because I also know a story from my home village where was some very talented young teacher who tried to get a job at the elementary school, and instead of her they took some woman from who was working at some usual shop, and which is rough or evil to pupils. So I don't know how they made this decision. It's just strange for me. But
This
that's
sounds
how it is
no
sometimes.
good. This don't sound good.
It's no good, yeah.
It's no good.
By the way, it's no good. Wife will arrive in 5 minutes, so it's my last minute now here in the stream,
Okay.
because I need to prepare some food and to speak a bit with wife as it is when she comes to home and so on.
Yeah. Do that.
Do that, okay.
Probably for the people who are interested in some more talk and I try to go into the Discord server, in the voice server, and just be available there in the voice chat. I don't know. I'll try that.
Okay. So your Tempel already had a lot of progress since we started.
Yes.
Got a lot of details.
Especially the top, yeah.
The top, yes.
Yeah, really a lot of detail. Okay. Yeah. I think the rest can be pretty much easier because I can just repeat the pattern all along. But here I have some very special small elements. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice looking. You did a good job there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so
You gonna go?
boys and girls, freeze, my lovely friend.
Okay, Tony.
Time to say goodbye now. Hope
Okay.
you still have a good time, have a good progress, have good talking.
Thank you for being here, Tony. You helped me well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for serving me, sir.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, this good games. Okay, bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Yes, and now we are all alone. Yeah, you like the stream, Hounds? I'm glad. And I'm also glad, Comfy Hero, that it's that you like the Tempel right now. Okay, yeah, let me just I just go into the Aztec Empire Discord voice server. If anyone wants, you can just join. Maybe you are interested. I'm in the voice chat general in Aztec Empire. I probably need to put the Discord and Twitter links here in the description of the Twitch too, because I haven't done this yet, but yeah. I just set it up the Twitch channel some days ago, actually. Okay, something from this top house was not really in the right place, and now I'm regretting it that I didn't put the shadows on an extra layer. But you know what? Doesn't matter. We will just replace them a bit. I think it is here, so let's copy paste it and just move it back where it belongs to. Okay. And I will merge it anyways because yeah, now it's better for control. So I often try to I often try to use not too much layers. This is something where I was always already talking with Nelvin about, with the coder. And yeah, I mean layers in Photoshop is totally like it's the big advantage that you have with digital media, with digital painting, but it's like not the most perfect thing. It can slow down. It can slow down the workflow, and also disturb the creativity, which is the thing what disturbs me the most. This don't mean that I don't use any layers at all. As you can see, I use a lot of layers here on this project, but I always try to have as few as possible but in the same time like the most helpful as possible. Yeah, this is probably easy to say but hard to do in some cases, but if you work a bit with it and with your own, if you figure out your own workflow, then you will probably get what I mean. But you will probably find the best solution with your layers too.
Test.
Hey.
Hey y'all.
Comfy Horo. Nice to have you here.
Yes, I am here.
Hey, and while seeing your image, now I remember who you are. You already wrote a lot in the channels, in the text channels, right?
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my main profession is like being a historian, so everything that has to do with history, even if it's like something totally obscure, always gets my interest.
Okay. Yeah, this is really good. Yeah, and I'm double glad to have you in the Discord server. So and where are
Yeah,
you?
and I'm totally glad that I stumbled upon this game because while there are like several good new modern city building game, I mean City Skylines is I love it.
Me too. Me too.
It's an amazing city builder. Um, the old stuff and the old mechanics still has its charm.
Yes.
Like I don't know. Um, you know, it's like I love eating pizza. Of course, I love eating pizza, but sometimes I just want some sushi or something like that. So,
What?
different
mean?
tastes for different times. That's what. That's why I can't play like City Skylines all the time.
Ah, no, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I think I can. I played this game for 300 hours. But I know exactly what you mean. At some point you want to have something else, you want to try out some others. And also you don't have any Aztecs in
And City Skylines, exactly.
Yeah. What a shame. Yeah.
Oh, would be a fun scenario, I guess. Aztec invasion of your city.
Yeah.
Oh,
But actually, I imagine something like this, like medieval city skylines or something. But I don't know. It's probably it would be such a different game that it don't make any sense. But actually, I really thought about
the other thing that I played relatively recently was Parkitect.
Parkitect.
Yes.
Funnily, I worked on Parkitect too. Yeah, I was working for them as a concept artist for a short time. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, I really love the game, and I really love the play style. And regarding the discussion before, like I don't mind 3D because Parkitect is a 3D game, but yeah, it all depends. I didn't even knew that the pops in Pharaoh were actually like 3D.
Okay. Which games? I mean Pharaoh. You mean Pharaoh?
Yeah.
No. Pharaoh. It don't use any like live 3D elements, but what they did was pre-rendered graphics.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
now I see.
They for example with the people I think they made an animation from just one side and then they rendered it out from the 4 sides or maybe even 8 sides they have in the game.
I think it was 8 sides. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Oh, that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. And in our case, it would probably make sense too, but I fear that it will break the painted style a lot. At least it did in Pharaoh in my eyes. I can see the difference between people and buildings, that it's not like...
That's what I said. I was actually surprised that it used that kind of technique because I couldn't tell the difference neither.
Okay, you couldn't. Okay, yeah. I wanted to say that I could.
Couldn't.
I wanted to say that I could, and I wanted to avoid this in Aztec Empire as well as I really, for example, I can show it quickly maybe. Let me quickly find it. So here is sprite sheets for the people in Aztec Empire. We actually have just 4 sides in our game, but since the characters are just running in 4 sides, it's kind of okay. It's no problem. And I do it fairly easy. I have people just have a walk cycle. They don't even have an idle, and I just need to make one side from the front, like the square front, and the one side from the back, and then they are like mirrored. And yeah, this is very few work for a whole new citizen, and yeah, so some citizens sure get a new animation, like a special animation, like the woodcutter, for example. So you can cut wood, but that's basically it. Yeah. And I think this is a good solution. It's
what I also really liked about the old games was like clicking on my citizens, and they actually had a lot of character, like the different like walkers, like depending if it was a doctor or like a market vendor or something like that, or the voices and so on. They had really a lot of character.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, this is something we don't have so much in Aztec Empire right now. But what I wanted to focus more on was I can also show this. So, for example, when you press on buildings in Pharaoh, you just get a text. I remember. Well, or you can where you get that the house, like the household, is happy or not. And I want to do this with graphics, and I wanted to do this with portraits. Like, for example, here, this guy. Like, you will have this portrait of a villager when you press on a house, and then you can like you have those different moods, and
okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And you will have different villagers, but yeah, it's still pretty early. So, but this is something I want to have instead. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, Hounds. Well, then see you then, and nice to have you in the stream. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, depending on what you guys get on Kickstarter and so on, I guess there will be a little bit budget for like voices. Otherwise, well, the usual talking to friends and relatives.
Yeah, yeah, voice acting is pretty expensive. So
at least professional voice acting is
exactly. Yeah. And then this is still, it's the problem is in what languages will you do it? Will it just be in English or in any language? Because then it, not every, but like in most.
In the main languages,
in the main language. And then the next question is about you need to hold the studios who are doing the voice acting for you, because if you do an update later on and you need the same voice actors again, it all gets very complicated, and this is something we really don't want, or we want to avoid at least. And I think, or well, I say that I really want to have voice acting, but yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. I thought of doing it myself a bit, but I didn't try it, so I can't tell if it's if it will be that good.
Yeah, basically, I think you could do it as a high tier achievement goal for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is an idea.
So,
by the way, for those who can hear the soundtrack right now, it is Empire Earth, the soundtrack, and I love this one. Such a cool such a great soundtrack. But yeah, here, Comfy Horror, where are you from, by the way?
Franconia.
Franconia?
Nürnberg in der Nähe davon.
Ach so. I see.
So North and South Germany. But probably I will. I'm looking right now for a new job, so probably moving soonish.
Okay, and what's your profession?
Right now, I'm looking like something like leading a museum or something like that. That would be pretty nice.
Yeah, and it fits to your skill of historical knowledge.
Let's see.
Okay, so next there is just it's just the sides, the walls of the temples left, and also then the base later on, but the base will probably
also there's something I reminded myself. What I really liked were the recreational buildings in Emperor. Like for example, like the pond, or like the big Feng Shui Wiese.
Actually, what?
Yeah, Feng Shui Wiese.
Like meadow, Feng Shui meadow.
And it had all those cutesy little animations in it, like someone actually trying to catch a fish, and on the meadow, on the Feng Shui meadow, people like training or doing like paragliding or something like that.
Oh yes. Yes. You mean those buildings increase the quality of life or something?
Yes, exactly.
We are also thinking about this in Aztec Empire, and we already are working on something like this too. But the question is about the animations. If it will have so detailed animations, or so. Right now I don't have so much focus on like very complex animations. So right now I just try to have certain animations in the game. But
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, those are all like detailed things. First thing is the groundwork. Other than that,
what you mean?
That the first things that have to be implanted is the groundwork, like the ground animation, like the animation for the water, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
So like detailed animation can wait till the end.
Exactly. That's what I believe too. Yeah. But also sometimes it's important to even have those animations sometimes, because just to get the feel, or just to know it as a player that this will be in the game. But yeah. So what we are especially focusing is the Tlaloc, for example, like the sport. It was a ball game, ancient.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. we already have the ball court for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be like one way you can increase the quality of life, or probably it will be more for the sake of Unterhaltung.
Worshipping the gods?
No. Unterhaltung. What is for
Entertainment.
Entertainment. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Of course.
Yeah. So you will have gods, yes, and you will have entertainment, and also you will have like quality of life. I think those three things will be like standing on their own. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. What I actually really liked as an idea from the stream chat right now was the idea about artifacts.
Yeah. Me too.
Because have you played like Stalker?
StarCraft. Yeah.
No, not StarCraft. Stalker.
Stalker.
It's like a first-person shooter in Chernobyl.
Yeah. Stalker. Okay. Yeah. I didn't play it.
Yeah, and you can attach to yourself like, well, artifacts, they are also called, and they each give you a bonus and a malus, so something positive and something negative. So I could totally imagine that you could put like in some temple or something like that, or in the central place of your city, like an artifact, or have artifact slots and have like plus 5% food income, but minus 5% like, I don't know, entertainment or something like that.
I see. Yeah, this is really interesting. Yeah. As I mentioned with the big buildings in city skylines, if it's not too overpowered, it's a very interesting idea. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think I will totally note this. Yes.
And yeah, you guys have to, if you do this, you have to implement as a Easter egg a crystal skull. Even if it's just
my question on this one, my question would be, how do you find it on the map, and how do you like get it really, and the bigger question, how can you like lose it again, you know? Those
I would say like maybe like doing some bonus achievements. And that you can actually like before a mission, before you start a mission, like select from your stash of artifacts that you got in previous missions, like 3, and those you have, plus any new artifacts that you find on the map in itself. So you always have to think about which artifacts you take with you to the next map. Something like that. It's just like brainstorming, but I think that would be a very cool game mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. It would give a new touch to the whole thing. Yeah, that's true. I really will write this down right now. We have a game document where we just write those ideas, and this is always the best, because you know, always you are working on marketing. Okay, you are always working on something, and while working on something, you often get new ideas, and it's hard to not jump around like crazy while yeah. And this is why I need to note this down. Yeah.
Especially for a 2-man team.
Yes. Yeah. and always it's one thing to have
Usually,
the idea.
you have some kind of project manager that keeps hold on everything. But yeah, as a two-man team, it's surely is difficult sometimes.
Yeah, You. This is fortunately you don't need something like project management in a two person team, but yeah, in some way you need it, yes. But I mean, not like you don't need a whole person for it.
No, totally. But like in bigger projects, bigger companies, and so on, you have someone that exactly does the thing you do. Just write stuff down, keep everything in mind, and yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of.
I will be now going to my weeb friends
Okay.
and talk about cute anime waifus. So.
Okay, yeah, do that. And have fun.
So, good luck for the project. Very nice stream. Thank you very much. And yeah, see you around.
Okay, glad you like it. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Where's the stream? Ah, here. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this was Comfy Horror. And Van Benthold, Van Lil Benthold. Exactly, I think the same, and I'm pretty glad that it finally gets somewhere. I'm still unsure with the both faces beside the stairs. I'm not that happy with them, but just leave them for now to get the whole impression. But what I really want to try instead is this thing here. I want to. Here it is. I want to. On these 3 stairs, or on these 2 lasting stairs, I want to have a like triangular shaped pattern. Let's try this, guys. Let's try this. Like ornaments or something. Let's put it a bit on the stair, because otherwise it probably will just fall down, or look like it will fall down, and I always try to avoid such things. Okay, and then we make it like this here. Okay. So this what you can hear right now is the Stronghold classic soundtrack. Very, very great soundtrack as well. I think from the whole playlist, one of my... I can say this to the whole playlist, so... one of my favorites, yeah. So, right now we have this, and you can see it's already pretty fine, like some small brush strokes. Let's just put some more below. Oh no, not yet. Okay, now my plan is to put some triangles beneath it, and I wanted to do it like this. Let's delete some of this here, not that far. Okay, and now I want to do this here, like put one here, one there. We may need something else. We need some sort of a measurement before we do this. So I draw quickly. I draw a line. Put it here, so I know I know how far I want to have my triangles. Okay, and I put it on this layer here. And now let's try something. Let's try to make this here, like this, and try this. Not sure. Not really. No. This is not what I want. Sometimes it's just, you just need to think about how to. Yeah. You can try this. No. This won't work. This guy here can help. There we have a measurement for this one here. Let's take these lines here. Put it. So these will only be my sketch lines right now. And now I can like place it randomly, like let's say here. And now I copy this, like this distance. And there I have it. This will be my base for my pattern, for my triangular shapes. Let's try it. Let's make those two guys, put them a little bit into, and now I can just copy paste them, you know. This is what I like about it. Okay, and if it's going a little bit overlapping here, there's no problem. I can just go for it. I think this one, don't disturb. Let's just try it. But I can already see that I'm fairly happy with it. Let's put it as on the other sides. Let's put away the sketch. I like this idea because it shows like it's like a flash which shows the direction downwards to the ground. Just like rain goes down. It's like a metaphor. But yeah, a cheap metaphor, but yeah, I like to put those small details into the buildings in Aztec Empire. So for example, the granary, since it's holding a lot of corn, I tried to make the corn somehow visible on the granary itself. And what I did was, let me just show you to you quickly. Wait. So it was fairly simple. Where's the granary? Here. Here you can see it. And what I just did was like just creating a green layer, big layer of color on the back, on the lower side, for the green, like the green part of the corn, and the yellow part as a small part at the top for the like the actual corn, like the harvest. And yeah, this is why I choose those colors. So it's not all random, and I really enjoy, or I really try to have this on the more buildings, the most buildings I can have it. On every building I can have. Yeah. Okay, so now I just place this one here. Like this. And now I can. Oh, yeah, this is not fitting too well. Let's just place it a little bit. So the cool thing about 2D, what I like also about it in comparison to 3D, for example, is that I can here and there just like push the visuals in a certain direction without without that it get noticed too much, and this is the good thing. In 3D, probably when you can walk around everything and see everything from every angle, it's probably not that easy to make a trick like this. Okay, I have this here. Let's color it in this color. Okay. Exactly. For the 3D like illusion, it's always critical to make the different angled planes in different angled in different colors. Yeah, this is the most important thing when it comes to 3D or 3D illusion. Let's call it like this. Which corners? You mean the triangular shape, like the shape to the ground? So which corners do you mean? It would be... Ah yeah, okay. And what don't you like about it? I mean, I think it's kinda cool. Ah, now I see what you mean. I think I'm getting you. And you are probably right, because it is not quite right, but I fear that from a distance like this, you probably won't notice it too much, or maybe it won't disturb too much? It's a good question actually. Probably now it will now where you have seen it, it won't let you like you can't stop seeing it, but maybe for what I want to say is like in this temple here I have such things as well, but you probably won't notice because you just saw it immediately from the very beginning, like when it was done. But actually I think maybe what I wanted to try is like here. I wanted to put another layer beneath it. This was something I wanted to do anyways. Like this here. Let's copy that. And I can imagine that this helps to make it less disturbing. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it still doesn't change the connection to the borders, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I believe that too, but nevertheless, your mention is not totally wrong, because it can be disturbing sometimes. Yeah. So I remember those details in Pharaoh or in I don't know, other games of this type, like isometric games, when there were some stuff which was just a bit off, not critical, you know, but just like I saw it all the time and I always thought, what? it didn't like get me away from the game for sure. But yeah, it's good to avoid such things, I think. Yes. I'm pretty happy with the triangular shape. I'm kinda thinking about yeah, it's fine. Let's go for it for now. This is the epic battle music of Stronghold. I hope you can hear it, because it's really scary. I can definitely call Stronghold also one of my favorite games. Definitely. I'm thinking. Let's do this. I already thought about this when I was concepting this temple. In fact, I wanted to create some openings for potential, like artificial waterfalls. Probably the Aztecs didn't have this, like pumps which leaded water down their temples. I doubt they had this, but this is something of maybe some creative freedom at this point. I really would love to improve certain stuff of the Aztecs, like make it just more a bit over exaggerated. Let's call it like this. Just for the sake of making a cooler looking game. And I'm always asking myself, how far can I go with this compromise? How far can I go to the like? How far can I let my imagination play? Until someone say, "Oh no, this is too far from the Aztecs." I mean, would someone say this even? Probably yes, right? Bloody waterfalls. Okay, yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, they will have a bloody waterfall down the stairs, like this. We have an animation for this already. Let me quickly check. Not for the Tlaloc temple, but for the Quetzalcoatl temple. Let me quickly. Here, this is it. Oh. Like here. Right? So this will totally be in Aztec Empire. I'm totally planning to do this for all the temples. But yeah, it's the question if it's also running out of the mouths here from Tlaloc. Like here, the mouth left and right. I can imagine like the waterfall going down here. Like here, going down, and here. This would be a very interesting view. By the way, Niklas, are you the Doppel N Niklas or are you another Niklas? CC. Well then, nice to see you here. Yeah, still again time have passed since we talked last time. How was the presentation? Have you been to the presentation already? I think so, right? Here, this is the ground. Put some places here. You know which presentation I mean. I mean, the EVD presentation. No. No. And how was it? Did you learn something new? Or have you even spoken to him? Here is the okay, Niklas. We need to talk about it later on. Okay, the cool thing now is that I can just add the waterfalls if I want, or just leave them if I want. I can do whatever I want, and this is always what I try when I create something, to let everything possible for any time. Stairs. At the end of the stairs, I add some sort of a bridge thing. Like here. And place this one here. add some lines here. This is the stairs, the ornaments. I put it on the ornaments layer. So what I think would be cool would be something like this here. Then going down. And going even further. Like something like here. Yeah. And then break it up at some point and here do it like this. Okay, now is the question how to get this on the other side. Let's try something. Can this work? Some way it looks not bad. Looks okay. It looks a bit. I always with those like with those stone carved in lines. Let's call it like this. It's always important to be careful with it because at some point it can look very futuristic. And we need to totally avoid this. But I have another idea. Let's make another sketch. So, this is the sketch line. Let's take those guys here and here and place them on the bottom here too. Right in the middle. Okay. Like this. Then again on the ornaments layer, take this here and put it there, and this here and put it there. This looks fitting. And now let's try this. It's just a blind try. Let's try it. Oh, look at this. Ornaments left here. You know, to have this red again, to just find it again. My problem is that I want to layer the water over it later on, probably, and so it'll be in conflict maybe. But yeah, you know what? We just do it anyways because I can imagine that if the water is not like floating of all the range of it, will be fine. We'll see. Okay, like this here, yeah. So we have a larger red element. Like when you create a certain design, it's good to not just have a certain color on one point, but to place it a bit everywhere. Not a bit everywhere, maybe. Not like that, like I did on this one here, because then it gets a bit like noisy. Let's call it like this. But if you have like one large area and then some small areas here and there with it, this is one of the best you can do, I think. Or at least I like it the most. try something else. Ornaments 2.0. I want to try something. By the way, Niklas, Niklas, and everyone else too, are you going to into the new Star Wars? Last Star Wars of the saga. It's on December releasing. And why do you think that? Van Benholt? Ah yeah, okay, sorry Van. I remember you told us again already. so why exactly the didn't you like the 8? Or a bigger question from me personally, did you like 7? So I just read what you are saying, Van. Well, they tried to put so much into it and focus on too many storylines, plus a few other things, like the purple one saying God's speed and not may the force be with you. 7 was not so bad, a little odd, but it was okay. And I prefer 1 to 6. I know many hate 1 to 3, and especially Jar Jar, but I don't mind him. So, actually, I am kinda agreeing on all this. I had a big problem with 7 in my opinion. So first, I was one of the guys who didn't like Kylo Ren too much, but I think this is more of some sort of personal preference thing. But another thing, what disturbed me a lot, and what in my eyes is not so much about personal preference, but still I don't see so much people complaining about it, but I can't understand why. So what I thought at 7 was that it was pretty much the same story as it was in 4, but with different names and characters. And I asked myself, why just replacing names? It's kinda, it makes things how is it called, redundant, you know what I mean? Yeah, this really disturbed me, especially when in the Star Wars 7 they said, like, oh yeah, they have a new Death Star, and I was like, okay, another Death Star, okay, yeah. And oh, this Death Star, he can destroy 5 planets instead of 1. Okay, yeah. I just eat that because it's Star Wars, and it doesn't matter. It's okay. But then they said, oh yeah, and there's this you can destroy this. You can destroy this Death Star by destroying a small or just a small part on it or something to just make it collapse in total. And I was like, okay, WTF, you know, it was just a pure copy of the. I mean, even the Death Star was the Death Star already was a copy, but then the way to destruct the Death Star was also copied, and this was for me. In this moment, I was thinking about leaving the cinema. I was really annoyed. I don't know. And then everything came together. Everything. I saw all the parallels afterwards, where I thought, oh man, this is just the same story. And but yeah, maybe this is not important for some people. Maybe some people just want to have the same story again. Yeah, and then I'm not this kind of audience. I like new ideas and see more of the cool Star Wars universe instead of just, I don't know, just the same thing. Yeah, and also 7 for me personally, it was a bit fast, a bit too fast, too much stuff. They were like, every time they went to a calm scene, it was like there was something. Maybe there's like, I don't know, the clones are arriving. Oh no, they all the time. Not the clones, the New Order. I'm sorry. Yeah. And this was also, but well, at the end, I think none of the new Star Wars a bad movie, but it's just not for me as a Star Wars fan. It's complicated. Yeah. I went to watch 8 with my sister and brother-in-law, and when Captain Purplehair said "good speed," we looked at each other and thought, what the fuck? Godspeed, okay. Yeah. Well, I just saw the German version, and I don't know, she didn't said Göttergeschwindigkeit or something. I'm not sure. Maybe Niklas knows this. But yeah, this whole character was a problem. Why haven't she told Poe about the plan? It was so. It was just wrong. Yeah. I have my problems with this new pattern here. At this side it looks great. I love it. But here, it looks very strange. And I know exactly why that is. And I'm thinking about how to fix it. I probably leave it like this for now because I'm not sure. Yeah, also 8 Star Wars 8 tried in my eyes tried a bit to be too funny at some points. I didn't notice that as such a bad thing in the first place, but I remember that later on I thought it was maybe a bit ridiculous, but yeah, it's at the end it's okay. At this point, it's okay. And I'm really thinking about not going into the last one, but I don't know. Maybe I will go. Some cast shadow here on the ground. So what I would love to have is to separate it from the ground. It's possible, let's try it. Yeah, we are reaching the finalization of the temple. I think we are just creating some last ground tiles. Oh, we are through the Stronghold soundtrack, I see. I just need to put this one on the first minute again. I think this is Aztec, just Aztec music at the end. I thought if we get that far in the stream, I just put in on some Aztec music. We can try it. Let's try it. Yes, what you're saying is right, Niklas. That it's not fitting at the border, at the edge here. I'm already thinking about the solution. Okay, good. Now we have separated the temple from the ground. The ground is fairly simple now, but it's not bad. And now we can do the following. We can maybe we do it. No, let's do it over the ground. We do the cast shadow, and look at this. We can just draw a line here. And here. And here. And now by just placing black, pitch black, and turning the black to 20, let's say 20%, it's all fine, it's all cool. Cast shadow. Yes. Okay, so I just need the ground marks. The ground marks and maybe some detail on the planes here, so that they are not so flat. I don't want to put more and more detail on it, but I want maybe some. Wait, we can do this quickly. Some usage marks, let's call it like this. Usage, I don't know. Like some like maybe there was some stone or something, like a small stone which was falling down from here. Maybe some edges which was broke out and cut it, not cut it, but scratched here a little bit. It's maybe a bit over the top, but can you imagine that it will work fine, just to break the perfect clear wall there. Just a bit like this. But this crack will be our little secret, right? And let's put some more here and there. Yes. Exactly, Van. This is my aim right now. Because right now it looks like some sort of plastic or so, and if it gets some cracks, you get more of the feeling that it is some stone-ish texture, some material. Not too much for sure, but yeah. Okay, this was the one thing, and now we need the ground. The ground. Like the ground lines. Okay. put this here. Okay. Now we put this here. That's good. Maybe let's lead it a little bit down here. Ah, that's too much. Oh no. This better, maybe. Seems still a bit much, but let's just try it. Something like this. But actually the music is a bit too slow. Let's maybe they have the Age of Empires 1 soundtrack at the end. Let's try this one. So some last strokes here and there, and let's put it here too. I think I put it better with the pen instead of the mouse. Of the mouse. So like this, and let's try to copy that. Will it work? Let's see. Okay, this fits well, this fits not that well. Let's... Okay. Yeah. Here at the bottom it's not that good, but I can adjust this. Okay, yeah. Now we have our ground lines. For the water, I'm still thinking. It's fine. Let's make some hue shift into the water. Like so. From the ground or more for the top? Oh yeah, the top is better. Also, a cool thing in water that you can always add is a small bright line at the point where it's touching its end. Let me show you what I mean. So press here and let's press there, and you see you got this like feeling of a water edge. I don't know. It's always a nice looking trick. Like here, and there too. Yes. There's some better water, not that one, just one color. The Temple of Tlaloc. What I would like is maybe so these stones here outside, the edge stones, maybe we can try something with them to make them also appear more red. Like here, there. Okay, now I can try to let's try it under cast shadow and then just put color like this. Oh, yeah, I immediately like this more, but let's try to push it a little bit into the red, give it a more saturation like this, make it brighter like this. Yeah. Kinda like this. Okay, well, then let's just... Wait, what? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So, seeing this, I think we are fairly far with this one. Let's try to make it a little bit more like this. Like, it's not the same red, it's just another, slightly a different red. Just like we did here on this guy. I'm still thinking of adding some detail on these planes here, because they are like, if they would have some detail, I think it could go well. Let's just try this one. Let's try it. Like this. And now we take another bright color, put it here. And here. And here. And here. Let's try this. Yes. Yeah, I prefer that. Still thinking maybe there can be some more detail, but I mean, like this, it could totally work. Maybe some more. Oh well, no, that's fine. Yeah, but I think we can call this one. We can call this one almost done. What about the ornaments here? I want to try another layer with those waving things here as a last try of adding some more detail. Good. Another layer. Let's put it here as well. Like this together. Yes. Well, I like it. I like it to have it. I think it's just a nice additional detail to just put some one fat line more. I like it. And I think I'm done with this for now. Maybe after seeing it in game, this will be interesting how it will look inside the game. But right now I'm fairly happy with it, and I'm thinking that this will be the end of the stream at this point. Yeah. Yeah, we just managed to build the whole temple. I personally I didn't expect it that. I thought of just drawing some drawing some how to say. For me, it was I thought maybe after finishing the temple or while working on the temple, I will switch over to a house. But now we finished the temple, and this was really cool. And Van, you said that you are interested seeing a 2D building come to life. What do you mean 2D building? You mean 2D housing, like a residence of an Aztec? Well, I have a video of this actually. Let me quickly send it over. At least you can see a speed up, and then you can probably, if you see my speed up plus you have watched me drawing the temple, you can imagine it in original speed, but oh wait. So this is like one house in Aztec Empire, how it where's the stream? Here you go. And I am thinking that I will do an Aztec house like the next time, for example. But yeah, I mean, we have 2.5 hours now, and I think yeah, maybe we stop for today. And since this is the first stream, I also wanted to have this as a almost more as a test. But yeah, I mean, I can imagine doing this like next week on the same time, for example. Yeah, and then creating a house, for example, or several assets. Yeah, but for now, after finishing the temple, I think I take a break or something. Yeah. Well, what did I wanted to say? Thank you, Van. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I will just say that we end the stream here at this point. Yeah. I really thank all of you for watching. It was very nice to have you in the chat here, and I'm very glad to that you guys helped me by building this temple of the Tlaloc. I will finish this one by, I mean, I will just place him on a like finish him on a, well, wait, we can yeah, we will do this next time, I would say. Yeah, but I will post it in the announcement of the Discord. And again, thanks a lot for watching, and I will end the stream right now. Bye bye.